to oversee your investment or your project on your behalf when you're thousands of miles away from home, then you need to think again. Some are counting unimaginable loss from financial to emotional, thanks to damage from immediate family members. Now, wherever you are watching us from, welcome to LTS episode number 17. And we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just down here, click that button. This could be the best festive gift that you will give us. And in fact, like, comment, and share your feedback. Imagine working abroad, saving every little earning with a great vision and a plan. Imagine sacrificing even the vacation days and working overtime to get extra income to meet the projected plans to achieve your vision within a 7-year time frame. Now, with all this plan and vision in place, you set out to initiate your investment and project plan. Mario, who's the subject of our experience this week, set out a plan for 7 years, and he did this and went to work abroad in Afghan in one of a specialist base as a ground crew. Now, prior to his breakthrough, that means before he started working abroad, Mario was working in his family farm. And since there were no available job openings in the market by then, Mario would help in digging, cultivating, and preparing the family agricultural land every season in order to have a source of income to support the family and their livelihood. Mario was that kind of a person who was very committed, a very honest person, someone who embraced a sincere living. And in fact, he completed his university degree through the side hustles by selling farm products for 4 years until he graduated with a second-class honors in biotech engineering. Now, during one of his interactions while presenting a project during his final year, Mario's project got the attention of one gentleman who was into humanitarian global support system. Now, the gentleman was very instrumental in securing Mario a job in a non-governmental organization as a humanitarian global support base in Afghan as a ground crew specialist. Now, the working condition in the base was not as common as what Mario was used to. Now, during that period, in that country, that was the season that this country was undergoing great challenges due to internal and external conflict. Now, at the base, Mario, with the people who were staying there, were working under tight security against potential attacks from insurgents that were against humanitarian support. Now, at the back of Mario's mind, he knew that this was a great opportunity he had been given to make a better life for himself back at home and also to help his family the best that he could. Now, Mario sat down and called himself to a meeting. How many of us living and working abroad go through the same experience over and over again? We sit, we plan, we work out on a saving plan and lay out our great ideas on what we want to do and even how we want to invest. Now, while many end up succeeding in one way or the other, there are thousands of others who fail to succeed, not because they didn't get their plans right, but rather the plans did not materialize as a result of betrayal from the city, betrayal from the people whom they trusted most. Worst still could be family members. Now, Morio put a plan to resettle back home after his two-term contract of 3.5 years each. When it expires, now we're talking a period of about 7 years to execute his plan, invest back home, and start a better life for himself and his family. So, since he could not visit home yearly, he embarked on a journey of getting his future in shape. And this is what he penned down as 4 most important things he wanted to achieve. 1, purchase an acre of land for himself. 2, build a permanent 2-bedroom house for his family in the farm. Build himself a residential home in his own land and start being independent. Now, build up a hostel facility as an investment plan for himself as a source of income. Morio was set, and he communicated with his father and mother of his great plan and idea, and he sought their wisdom to support him, and he started sending money home as the plan materializes for the 4 objectives he had set out to do. Friends of LTS, every month Morio will send money with instructions in line with his 7-year plan. Now, during the first year, he had sent enough money to purchase 1 acre of land and put up a perimeter wall. In fact, the mother sent him a photo of the land that they had bought for him, which was a few kilometers from their rural family farm. Now, with this development, Morio was so motivated to build a 2-bedroom permanent home for the family in the rural family farm. Now, this dream was becoming a reality as he had envisioned the moment he set foot in Afghanistan. Now, the family, through the leadership of the father and the mother, kept asking for top-ups, for more of the finances, in order to realize the dream of their son, Morio, who was working abroad. Now, once in a while, Morio will request to see the progress of the family house as it took shape. Indeed, the mother will send pictures from time to time. After the 4th year abroad, please remember Morio has not stepped back home 4 years consecutively because he had put a plan in place for him because he wanted to go back home with a 7-year plan achieved. Morio had made steady development and he had sent money and was excited of the feedback that he used to receive from the parents and the photos that they shared with him. In his mind, after 4 years, Morio had done a checkbox of 1. He had bought land and secured himself a perimeter wall. He had built a family house and he had started to send money for his now personal residential home. A dream which he thought was working, and he was acquiring a home and was now becoming independent. Every month, Morio will send money for the project, and after 1.5 years, his dream home was complete, and his mother sent him the photos of a complete residential home. Now, Morio was now 2 years shy of completing his plan and returned home as a homeowner a landlord and a businessman with an investment plan. Now, having been motivated by the reports and the photos from home, Mario saved the last of every dollar to complete his hostel facilities. Since this was going to be a big project, he embarked on wanting to personally supervise and get his hostel facilities plan right. Now, with excitement bubbling up in him and anticipation following the successful planning, Mario decided to return back home unannounced after 7 years of working in Afghanistan. Now, every part of the journey was memorable. One, Mario knew he couldn't wait to land home, to see his land, to see his residential home, to see his family rule home, and 3, ready to embark on a hostel investment plan, which he had saved for the past 7 years. In fact, he could not wait to land back home and start a life bigger and better. The moment Mario landed at the airport, that's when Mario made his first call home and announced his arrival and was on his way home. Imagine this conversation. Hello, Mom. I've landed. I am here. I'm here. Within no notice, there was hello, ring, hello, Mario. Siki, I can't hear you, Mario. Ring. Boom. The phone went dead silent. On second attempt to call home, the phone was switched off. That's when Mario felt a little bit uncertain and a little bit worried, a little bit unsure of what had really happened. Now, from the capital city, that is at the airport, it took about 3 hours drive from the capital city at the airport to Mario's rural home. Now, the reality versus the expectation was now very much ripe, alive, and well, and facing him head on. Now, Mario thought he had arrived at the wrong homestead because the family home he had sent money for was halfway done and unfinished. Now, you can imagine, having been away for 7 years, the pictures that they were sending to you, the image that you already have, and what you're seeing on the ground. Mario was baffled. He was shocked. In fact, he started trembling and asked his parents what had really happened, since the photos that he had against what he was seeing on the ground were a complete different story. The mother was lost for words, and in fact was crying uncontrollably. Now the father, who before was a respected man, was now a total drunkard and not in a sober state to even comprehend the magnitude of the situation. In fact, he was just saying, Mario, welcome home. Mario, karibu nyumbani. Now, Mario demanded to know where his land is and wanted to see his residential home. Mario had to show them the pictures which they had sent him over the past 7 years of a completed home, a land he had bought, a completed house on his residential land. But the reality of what was in front of him was a total contrast. In fact, the mother could not bring herself to terms with this incognito visit from their son. They drove to the land that had supposedly been bought for their son. And after unsuccessful attempts to locate the land, the father had to admit and say the truth. He told him, Morio, the land that we have, we thought instead of buying you another land, we secure 1 acre for you from the family land. So the money you sent us to buy you land, we used it because we have given you 1 acre of land in our own family land. Morio was broken. Morio, in fact, was depressed. And at this point in time, Morio was seeing a dark cloud hanging over his future. He gathered up strength within and asked the parents to show him the land that they had secured for him in their own family land for his residential house. Friends of LTS, believe it or not, there was no house, there was no land. And it is at this point that Morio lost his temper, he went blank, he became mum. The shock and the disbelief of the events that made him suffer a blackout, he could not regain consciousness. He had to be hospitalized for 2 days to come back to his senses. 7 years of sacrifice, 7 years of self-denial in a hope of trusting your parents as custodians of your own investments, all that gone down the drain. Nothing to show off for the sweat and toil, imagining the rough terrain and the bitter life that he had to go through in Afghanistan, in a foreign country, and for the so-called good parents to eat of the sweat and blood of their own son. I'm sure you have questions just like me. What did they do with all the money that Morio was sending them for the past 7 years? You never want to know. You will be as disappointed as I am, and in fact, as bitter as Morio was, and you cannot blame him of the action he took after this. The mom joined a group of women flexing their financial muscles, machama, getting to move with the so-called mama so-and-so, because they have got money and wealth and influence, and that's how she started spending all the money Morio was sending home. New cloth after new cloth, new fashion after new fashion, from women group to women group. Now you become famous, you're the one who is dishing out money to every self-help group. The father was all over the rural area, drinking himself silly and setting up solar panels as a personal business with disregard to family morals, not even thinking of their own son and what he wanted to achieve. Now, with the sweatless money, the father married a second wife, and to the disgrace of family members, that's when the rain started beating them. They had adopted a lifestyle that was short-lived, and now the supply had been cut short. And that was the beginning of an end between the relationship of a son and a father, the relationship of a son and a mother. Morio was so depressed. In fact, it's only after 6 months of solitude that he used his indemnity, part of which he had saved for himself, and tried to start life again with a second chance. Morio contacted his previous company in Afghan for redeployment. And because he was an honest person, because he was sincere and hardworking, he was successful. But now he was not posted in Afghan. He was posted for another non-governmental organization in Kuwait. Morio is now remodeling himself again with a second chance. I'm sure, should he think to invest again, he will not make that costly mistake that he had made. So, how many of us have been victims of our own family or even close family friends? You work so hard from abroad, you send money home in the hope of someone investing for you, but all you get is a surprise. Surprise! We need not to say some have gone through this experience but have not come out alive. Some have taken up their lives because it's a bittersweet. So for those who are entrusted, think big before you make such a move. This is the simple truth of the week. Breaking someone's trust is like crumpling up a perfect piece of paper. You can smooth it over and over again, but it's never going to be the same again. In the end, you have to choose whether or not to trust someone. This is an expensive quote from Sophie Kinsella. And I top it up saying, never push a loyal person to the point where they no longer care. If you are the one, what would you do? How could you have handled your parents after such an ordeal? Friends of LTS, this is one of the most sad but a true experience from Morio. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Stuff on this episode number 17. And if you have any experience that you'd like to share with us, kindly drop me a note. The emails and the handles are running down on the screen so that we can continue to learn from each other and share our experience. And again, do not forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. One of my friends says subscribe, please. Subscribe. This is the best gift you could give us on the year 2021 as we approach to the welcoming in of year 2022. And from all of us, and as we say it here from LTS, remember, the most highly valued asset of any successful company will remain to be the staff. So when they send you money back home, don't think it's bread and butter where we are, but it is sweat, toil, and hard work that makes you eat, live, and even enjoy that luxury that you do back home. So invest on our behalf and don't screw us up like Morio's parent. What more can we say until next year, 2022? From us, Happy New Year and God's blessing to you. Peace and subscribe. Namaste.